Hey guys, welcome into the Elite Agency community. Today I have an epic guest who is willing to share his secrets on how he interviews, trains, and manages appointment setters, media buyers, VAs, all sorts of hires for his clients. And so I'll be dropping some insight as well on my process, hiring hundreds of setters as well. But here today I have Christian John, who is going to be pretty much going over a couple of questions, interview style, and just dropping some value nuggets. So Christian.
Absolutely. So I'm Christian John. I'm the operations manager for Fava Agency. I work directly with Omir Block, who is one of the biggest names in the digital marketing space nowadays. We specialize in placing virtual assistants, media buyers, graphic designers, and cold callers, generally just online team members into your team for your digital marketing agency.
Beautiful. That was really concise and straight to the point on what it is you do. So again, Christian and Omir have both been clients of mine for, Christian especially, a long period of time. And, we've helped them with systems and processes. And I'm just so happy to see how they've blossomed and their goals that they're setting and they're crushing. Like Christian was telling me a little bit ago that they set a goal and, they're already exceeding it. And their goals on our last coaching call are even higher and higher. And I have no doubts in my mind that you guys will be successful with that. So with everything said so far, first question is, we'll imagine the person watching this has never hired before, maybe they've tried in the past and it's not too successful. So what would you say to the individual who is looking for new talent on the market right now?
Yeah, two things. Don't be afraid to pull the trigger, okay? Because I know there's gonna be a cost. You might fuck up, it might not be the right person, but it's better to do it and then to correct course than not to do it and to say, what if? And second, you need to have a crystal clear picture. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. Are you looking for someone who has insane technical skills in an area? Are you looking for someone with a great personality? Are you looking for someone who is going to be a great culture fit? And then which area do you a lot more importance to, right? I've interviewed hundreds of people, so I can tell you some people who exceed on the technical skills are going to lack on this personality, and vice versa too. Some people who are great at the speaking, they might be amazing cold callers, they might not be great media buyers. So you need to have a crystal clear picture of what you're looking for. You can't expect a media buyer to also do cold calling and to do some video editing, right? It's better to hire a specialist and to let that person do that thing than just someone who spreads too thin.
Exactly. And I even myself have experience with that where if someone on my team is good at setting, for example, I allow them to do their setting role. I don't expect them to pick up sales. If I go hire a sales rep, maybe from you guys, then I don't expect that individual to learn prospecting and everything else, or even how to run a Facebook live stream. I don't expect them to know how to do that. I'm going to let them, as a specialist, like you said, focus on the one or two things that they're really good at and hire for that role. And so that's very beautiful. So someone now has the confidence to go hire. So with that being said, what are some of the pitfalls that some people run into if maybe they're trying to do it themselves versus hiring an agency such as yourself?
Yeah, one of the pitfalls that people run is believing too much in what the candidate says. So some people say, okay, I'm going to post in ClickFunnels, and they're going to get 100 DMs, they might get 100 comments, and they 100 emails. So they need to manage maybe 3-4 hours or more of just filtering through those people and finding the best people, right? The diamonds in the rough. That takes some hours. Now, you need to either be very, I don't want to say naive, but you need to trust the person who is telling you, okay, I can do this, or this. So if you are not that person like me, I'm not that trusting, I ask for at least a portfolio, a study, video testimonial, a recommendation, or ideally a mixture of all these.
Exactly. You want to make sure that when you're speaking to an individual, and for myself, I've hired hundreds of people for other companies. And I understand, just like you're saying, that sometimes when you're in a position of getting somebody and you see the resume, sometimes it may be too good to be true. So you definitely, like you're saying, there's multiple factors that you have to look over. The resume, their what they're actually like on a Zoom call when they turn on the video. They'll present themselves in a way where almost you get to peek into what they're really about. So you can tell if a resume is fluffed or maybe if they're not truthful in some manners. So just being able to do that full vetting process is super critical. I think is a huge learning point for a lot of the people watching this. And so when it comes to timing of hires, when do you think the right time to hire is, and what is your first hire? In my opinion, I think appointment setters should be number one to get your calendar booked, and you should do it from day one, because that's what I did in my business. I opened up the LLC, like literally within a week, I hired my appointment setter, got her trained up, pushed SOPs over. And so that's my experience with the setter side. So when it comes to these other roles that you guys help with, what do you think is the time frame? And I guess we can start from there.
Yeah, so typically we have kind of a roadmap for hiring, and that's something that Omir and I agree, is that a lot of agency owners first hire a general or admin VA. That means someone who is going to take the workload, the legwork of doing things that are done on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. For example, posting your two-step post or answering to people who commented, just those nitty-gritty details that you don't want to do, but they soak a lot of time. They're time suckers. That's a great first hire, a general admin VA. Then I would say the second person can be the same person, by the way. Can be, you can train. Ideally, the agency owner should know how to set up their first 20 appointments.
Yeah.
Like I personally set up my first 50 appointments before hiring my VA. And I say, okay, you're going to do exactly this. These are the templates. These are the frameworks. And my VA actually helped me develop better frameworks.
Exactly. And I want to extend on that last point you made there, because it's something that you and I can say casually, but maybe some other people won't understand what you meant there. And so with that being said, you and I, we're really experienced. If we started a new business, we can plug somebody in, give them some SOPs, and we can be confident that, they're going to be following the correct KPIs and stuff. But for someone who's brand new or has yet to hire somebody, or maybe has hired someone in the past, or they just suck at the first whole part of the process, being able to do it first yourself, knowing you can set your own appointments, knowing that if you message somebody in a certain way and you follow a certain framework, that you're able to get them on a triage call or a sales call, whatever it may be. I think that, like you agreed on earlier, at that point alone is super critical, because if you understand it, you now can give it to somebody else to, pick up, and then you can also help train them up, give them better KPIs, and have them follow SOPs. But then, once you start getting more team members, then it'll just be super streamlined. You don't have to sit there and train someone over and over again. You've already trained the first VA. Now you can just give the second VA or appointment setter to the first VA. So then your own team trains your own team, So with that being said, talking about multiple team members, where is kind of your second hire going to come in? Like, where is the ceiling that people run into and they may need to make a second hire? Is it another appointment setter? Is it a media buyer? Or does it depend on someone's bottlenecks?
Yeah, I would say, that's definitely customized to each agency owner, because each agency owner is unique. Some people are amazing at sales and they're not going to struggle at sales. Some people are amazing at media buying, so they might not need a media buyer. They might be able to do all the ads by themselves. I've met agency owners who scaled to 100K doing both, doing ads, appointments, and sales by themselves. But I can tell you, that's not fun at all. That's working 14 hours a day, Monday through Sunday, and that's definitely soul crushing. So if you're that person, hire us, hire Feva. You need.
Yes, exactly. And I completely agree. I've ran into clients of mine, for example, they think they can do it all. And sometimes they
can. Well, some people are superhumans. Exactly. It's not going to be fun. You make more money to enjoy life, right? You don't make more money to work longer. If that's you, I don't know, then you don't need to hire anybody. But I don't think that's the point, right? A business is only sellable if you are fully removed from the business. If you're doing everything, you might make $1 million, but that business is not sellable.
Right.
The business is worth zero.
you want to be attractive to potential investors in the future. So I think the overall theme here on that last point is delegation is going to make your life easier. Number one. Number two is now you have structure. So maybe potential investors, if you plan on selling your agency, are going to be more attracted to it because then they see you and where you're at and you're all delegated and kind of sitting back in your throne and everybody's doing their operations and stuff. So maybe that would be attractive to an investor. And so with all of that being said, I think we made an awesome point there on the delegation aspect. So did you have any points that you wanted to make at all or share with individuals in regards to delegation?
Yeah. So even if that is custom, that is custom and unique to each agency owner, there is a general blueprint, a roadmap that we typically follow that is the following. It's an admin or general VA, then 1 or 2 appointment setters. Then after that, there might be a BDR, business development representative, which might be an appointment setter or might be like a manager of these people, might be a prospector, might be a lead scraper, which is going to furnish leads for the appointment setters to contact, might be a cold caller. Definitely, I would say also someone who manages these people. So the appointment setting team is taken care of, like an appointment manager. Then definitely, if you're offering Facebook ads, right, it can be a media buyer. But before that, actually, what you can do is also have a Facebook ads VA. Actually, we've placed that a lot. A Facebook ads or Google ads VA, someone who is going to create your Facebook ads copy, who is going to set up the campaigns, is going to do all the nitty gritty, the legwork for the media buyer to come. And the media buyer is a more senior position, right? The media buyer is more of an analyst. Okay, what CPA needs to be adjusted, CPL is too high, what KPIs need to be managed. So that's another higher than the media buyer. You can hire 1, 2, 3. We have clients who have multiple media buyers and then media buyers below them and sometimes media buyers below them. Then the next step would definitely be, and we have that's special about Fava. We don't only place VAs, we place people, we place everyone in the value chain. We place account managers too. When you have more when you have more than 10 clients, you are most likely going to need an account manager to talk to your clients. And believe it or not, your virtual assistant can become an account manager if they speak really good English. That's possible. We have clients that hire a VA with the expectation of VA, and that VA became a media buyer.
Exactly. So, I just really quick, I wanted to make a point there in what you just said, and that is whenever you're hiring in your processes, it's always possible to escalate people through your company. And a prime example of that is, for example, I had appointment setters who were on the phones for my real estate marketing agency, but then I saw there were a couple of individuals who were excelling, like they were just taking off and they were picking up the phone, they were doing the follow-up. And I was like, wow, these individuals are exceptional. Why don't I bring them into my company? And so that's exactly what I did is I brought 2 of the ISAs, the callers, and I brought them onto my team. And what did I do with them? I had them manage accounts because they were familiar with how to talk to the leads and the lingo that maybe our clients might have, trouble with. And so at that point, something that you just mentioned is hiring from within, promoting up based on skill set. So I think that's a huge point, which I wanted to just focus and hone in on, put a huge spotlight on, is that it's 100% possible to get a hire, recognize their skill sets, move them around to a position that they'll be better to execute on. And the cool part is if they worked in that first role before you promoted them, after you promote them, they can train somebody else to be in that role. They can show them the SOPs. And so that is such a huge, huge point in which I want everybody to just full stop and understand before we move on to the rest of the conversation. But yeah, that was super, super valuable for anybody watching.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have, for example, for a client, we sourced a guy from Peru, from my home country, who was an appointment setter. He was an ISA, actually. He was an ISA too. And he did such a good job. And his English is so impeccable. His English is like better than some Americans, believe it or not. It's impeccable, that guy. He's so good at sales on the phone that he's been promoted to leads manager. So he now trains the other ISAs and he manages the leads as a whole, and he got a promotion and a raise within like 3 months.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah,
When they
and we
have
hired, we placed that guy.
Yeah, and when they have the talent, everything you're saying, it's possible to move them up in the ranks, which is awesome. And so a question that just popped into my mind that I think a lot of people might be asking, or maybe they've questioned in the past, is why hire from third world countries, Latin America, Dominican Republic, that kind of stuff, when I can easily go find someone in the States? So first off, why international?
Well, why international? There are two things. First of all, the cost. Like in a country like Philippines, $4 per hour is a great salary. It's a pretty great salary.
Yes.
Here in the US, I've seen companies that pay $15 per hour to do data scraping. That can be done by a SAP, by a single SAP. Like I used one of my jobs 3 years ago. That was embarrassing, man. I was a temp doing some transcription and data entry for a company. I was getting paid like $13 per hour. And now that I know Zapier, I thought these guys were, I don't know, that could be a SAP. That job, $13 per hour, could be one SAP or one Integromat.
So
one Integromat.
With what you're saying, I would say, in my opinion, I think it's a lack of knowledge on a lot of the market. Some people assume that if you go hire from Latin America, that it's going to be a lesser quality of an individual. And I was in a conversation with a lady actually yesterday who was looking to work with myself about organic marketing and stuff. And she asked like, oh, I might need an appointment setter. So this interview will be really good for her. But she was also like, listen, we were just putting out ads locally on Craigslist and she lives in the States. So she was looking to hire locally. And I was like, listen, people in the United States, let's be honest here, they have low work ethic. They really just are there for the money and they don't care too much. The money, if they have another offer, they're going to go instantly. And also, you're going to pay the taxes, the tax burdens of hiring in the States. There are just so many disadvantages for hiring in the States. Somebody has to show up to your office. I really believe that if you have a role in which somebody's picking up the phones and doing follow-up, it can be done anywhere in the world. Like if that individual who you hired locally lived in Mexico, why not go hire them if they're going to go do a good job? And so I think with your company and myself, when I work with Inner Circle clients, looking for these appointment setters or even any sort of talent that you guys help, place, that if someone has the skills and somebody is in a place where they can get the job done, why not go hire them and take on all the advantages such as low pay, no tax burden when it comes to, the 1099s and all that stuff. Why not just go across the borders, right? And hire internationally.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a lot of points here. Of course, the insurance and you have to pay here taxes, employee taxes. And not only that, but you can see here in many restaurants, local businesses, employees that get paid $15, $16, $17 per hour doing the bare minimum at their jobs, doing just the basics, just showing up. While in other countries, people pretty much sometimes they do everything to get these jobs because they know they have the work ethic and they know that in their countries, an average salary is not as high. So they are going to do a lot to get these jobs at US agencies. And also, I wanted to make this clear because I'm from Peru and this lady should listen to this. Two things. There's a book called The 4-Hour Work Week. And this book was written in 2006, so it's nothing new. And this guy, Tim Ferriss, the author, he says that a lot of the Indian guys he hired, they were more hungry and they had a bigger work ethic than many American employees that he knew.
Yes.
We're talking about Tim Ferriss. We're not talking about a guru. Like Tim Ferriss is an internationally known author. Like he was doing the online business way before it was even a trend, right?
Exactly.
And also in many Latin American countries and also in the Philippines, like the education standard is very high. Like just the fact that you have to graduate from high school knowing a second language, and some schools, they require knowing 2 languages besides your own, that speaks volumes about the standards of education in other countries. Like in my country, you had to graduate with a 4,000 words paper. 4,000 words paper. That's more than in many colleges undergraduate programs here.
Yes. Yes.
right? And we had to know English at least an intermediate level. And some of our exams to pass the last year of school were, I'm not kidding, 10 pages, 12 pages, 16 pages.
Wow, that's incredible. And that shows again that, us living in the States where everything's served on a silver platter, we don't really understand the situations in other countries. So maybe, when someone's hearing, again, and I'll rope back to my point earlier, when someone hears $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 an hour, they're like, what the heck? Like, first off, that's got to be illegal. Second off, like that's
some people think those are like bozos, but no, like in other countries, the currency is so low compared to the dollar.
Correct.
For example, in Peru, a dollar is 4 soles. So it's for the currency. But in Argentina, it's more than 80. It's like 80 pesos more. It's a lot. It's a lot of money.
Exactly.
So you can live in other countries, you can live very comfortably making $1,000 a month, even less, sometimes $600, $700.
Yeah, and even like the salaries in some of these areas, like on the baseline, here's perspective for you. In the Philippines, like $1 to $2 per hour goes, like, that's average, and it goes a long ways in the first place. But I'll tell you guys a personal story right here. I had 2 employees of mine from the Philippines, super amazing people. They run their own company now because I gave them the tools and stuff. But these 2 individuals, they were living so well off of $4 an hour plus a little bit of bonus that they were actually able to get like a super nice house. Here in the States, I live in California, it was probably a $300,000 house that they were able to get in the Philippines. One of the individuals, his name's Tommy, he was able to get a motorbike, like one of the most like amazing, sickest looking motorbikes, simply because he was living off of a salary that was a couple of dollars an hour more than any of his peers. And so he's living like luxury. They got a mortgage, nice house in California, it'd be like $300,000 house. He has a motorbike, like they're super happy. I literally just checked on my Instagram and they were just going on vacation, and they're probably gonna visit the States here and stay at my place pretty soon for Christmas and stuff. But literally, that is if that happened to 2 people that I know personally off of a pay rate that's only a couple dollars per hour, it just gives perspective on the whole online hiring situation.
Yeah, and also like we've normalized, and I'm gonna say this, that it's gonna ruffle some feathers. We've normalized by living in the US overpricing a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
Like in New York City, an apartment with rats, literally with rats and with water drops falling from the ceiling, $2,500.
That's insane.
How is that possible? Right? Like I was researching apartments in Florida, and I can tell you some ghetto apartments, $1,750, like with holes in the floor.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like we've normalized by living in the US, we've normalized overpaying for a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
That's because in a lot of industries, not only in the marketing world, but in a lot of industries, their coaches, their gurus tell you, okay, charge more. Like roofing companies, the coaches say, yeah, charge more. Plumbing companies, they are taught to charge more. Everybody's taught to charge more. So if everybody's taught to charge more, we've normalized overpaying for stuff.
Yeah.
In other countries, people charge, I would say, a more reasonable, because there are so many people like in India, in Mexico, that they need to be competitive. They need to be competitive. They know that.
And just another example of this is, for example, I knew a lady, she got really triggered because I was looking for new applicants, new appointment setters for some of my inner circle clients. And she saw a job posting that I had out there, and she was just going off on my post. How can you not give these people a living wage? Blah, 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 blah. And she was just going off. And so that just shows ignorance on the whole situation when it comes to hiring and pay rates and stuff. And she was like, I only pay my employees minimum $10, $15 per hour because they deserve it. They're amazing individuals. And I said, I agree with you. These are amazing individuals. But listen, I'm not going to pay somebody in the United States, which the typical salary is like, what, 55, 54,000 or something like that. Yeah. I'm not going to pay every single person who's a good person $150,000 to sit and be a receptionist at a dental clinic. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you do not get overpaid for being a good person. You get paid for first your worth and also the local economy that you live in. right, such as the United States. We have to pay such high wages because gasoline in California here is $5 a gallon. And it's so insane, our costs of living. You have property taxes and everything like that, when we do hear all these lower numbers.
Yeah, and you go to the dentist, and I've seen bills like, I know somebody, a friend who was getting a quote for a dentist, $7,000 for one procedure. Okay, you go to Peru, you travel to Peru, you stay in Peru for 2 months, and you go to the dentist, and the total bill is $1,500.
Yep. And just to go off of that as well, I knew a lady who, or actually a gentleman, I should say, who got his teeth done in Mexico, and it was like a fifth of the price. And people are like still worried about like, oh, like how are you going to trust those doctors and stuff? But the funny thing is, the doctor who did his teeth, she was being studied by American doctors because of her procedures and how well she does. So that is just another example of, online virtual assistants.
Yeah, and that's something that Tim Ferriss talks in his book in his sequel called the 4-Hour Chef. He talks about medical tourism. He dedicates a whole chapter to medical tourism, and he calls that the geo arbitrage. Like when you do Forex trading, right? You sell dollars and you buy Great British Pound and you sell dollars. That's called monetary financial arbitrage. This is the geographical arbitrage. The local economy, labor economy, of course.
Yeah, and I think everybody has gotten a lot of valuable points here. Again, I'm here with Christian John, and he is partners with Omir. And I just wanted to say that these individuals know what the hell they're doing. They are in a great position in order to give you the best talent on the market. And so, Christian, I'll let you kind of wrap up with your final thoughts, or maybe a point that you want to make in order to have a solid impact with everybody that's listening here.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple more points that I wanted to make is when you're hiring for something more specialized, for example, a graphic designer, two great things to ask are a portfolio and at least one sample of work in the line of work that you want to do. If you want to hire a social media content creator, ask for social media contents, pages they manage. If you're looking for a media buyer in the real estate niche, you can ask for a case study in the real estate niche. And you can say, okay, record a video of your ads manager. And there you're going to filter the wannabes, the tire kickers from the real deal, from the people who are the real deal. We do that for you. We do that process. We ask the questions, we vet the people, we gather the case studies, we gather their portfolios, so you don't have to do it yourself.
Right. That's awesome. And it's definitely a shortcut when it comes to time. Something that I do want to give to everybody watching is in the comments below, I'm going to be dropping some resources like templates on maybe hiring your first roles like a VA and stuff. I want you to go try it, because what's going to happen is you're going to experience all of the bottlenecks that we talked about today. So I'm going to give you the best possible free resource to go try. And then once you need the training, or once you need those higher level roles, Christian is your man. Go hit him up, save yourself some time, even just go check him out, check out his profile and stuff. I'm sure we'll have some more interviews with Omir and stuff coming up in the future as well. But just wanted to thank everybody for watching. Kick some ass, have some fun, and let's scale organic marketing with team members, and let's get shit going.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for the interview.